So this is the Q&A that I had planned for a while that my Patreon supporters have um, participated in. This was almost a month ago that these questions were asked, so I might mention that if it matters into my answer. First question comes from Dr. Max. He says, have you ever made a series like this before? I have not. This is literally my first time doing anything close to this. I guess the closest thing would be just me drawing like scary pictures in middle school art class, but in terms of video production and stuff, this is really the first. It's your boy Cam says, thank you so much for the opportunity. How did it feel to see the Mandela catalog suddenly gain so much interest? Crazy. It still hasn't processed for me. And he commented this like almost a month ago when I was like, I must have had like just over 100K. Now I have, let's see, right now, I have 167,000 subscribers, which is mind-blowing to me, by the way. I uploaded the exhibition 2 days ago. That has 360,000 views. That's literally insane. But it's just so weird. It feels so weird to me because this kind of stuff is the stuff that I would like daydream about in school, like being like a successful YouTuber and stuff. It hasn't really processed all the way yet, even though it's been quite a few months since I really picked up traction. Yeah, life kind of feels like a simulation right now, I guess.
Oh, hey guys, it's Sarah. I didn't see you there. I just wanted to say that I really like the meaning of Mandela Catalog and what change it's brought to our family.
What was the change that it has brought to our family?
The change it's brought to our family is love. Like I can really tell we're all closer together.
Sorry about that. Anyways, IDNTT says, any specific influences on your work? Love the series. Overthrown is such a neat concept and idea. Well, thank you, first off. And this question comes up a lot, so I'll kind of just say it now. My biggest influences is the Walton Files by far. That's probably the biggest one. Gemini Home Entertainment, Local 58, Marble Hornets. I think those are the big ones. Also some classic horror movies like The Shining and The Exorcist and stuff. Stages of Mania says, what are some of your favorite analog horror series or internet ARGs? Same thing, Walton Files, Local 58, that stuff. Solo says, do you have a rough roadmap or schedule for the Mandela catalog? I do. And for the most part, it's pretty planned out and what's going to happen. I'll touch on that a little later. Ping Chai says, what gave you the idea and inspiration to create the idea of alternates? What's your creative process? Well, the main thing that inspired alternates were kind of a combination of like just doppelgangers in general. I thought that was kind of creepy and something that hasn't really been touched on in analog horror yet. But also wood crawlers from Gemini Home Entertainment was a big one. I think people kind of got that vibe. But my creative process, I don't know. That's a big question. I hope that I can answer it within the next few questions. Galactic Inhabitant says, do you have other ideas for alternate designs? As in, will we see a more variety of them in future episodes? Example, different or more grotesque features and sounds they make. Love your stuff. Well, thank you. And yes, I do. Right now, I have 2 more like alternate types that I've planned out, and I'm really, really excited. I think they'll be really cool. One of them will be introduced in Volume 2. They play a big part in Season 2. Prevention says, collaborate with other YouTubers. And yeah, I mean, this comment was made a little while ago, maybe 20 days ago or so. And I've already, I guess you could call it collaborate. If you mean like people making videos about Mandela Catalog, like Wendigoon has, Wowman has, Loey Lane has, some other people. Corey Kenshin did, which is crazy. That was really cool. Mason Barber says, outside of a few outliers, such as Channel 7, most popular analog horror opts for non-verbal cues, just music and sound distortions. What made you decide to have dialogue, and will you continue to include it in future entries? Love your stuff. Can't wait to see what comes next. Well, thank you very much. Um, well, the thing is, I did want to have dialogue because I really, this is something that the Walton Files kind of like inspired me to do too, is I really wanted to have like characters in it rather than like the second person perspective of viewing analog horror. Like I really like that. Like that's what Local 58 did and stuff. But I really like having characters to like um, feel things for and see their development. And it also kind of adds a hint of reality into it as well, I think. Zach N says, do you believe you, personally, would fare in this universe if you lived in Mandela County during the alternate emergence? I mean, maybe. I don't know if I'll be smart enough. I think so. I think I might. I mean, I'm not that smart, but I think I'm smart enough. James RL 2552 says, any advice for individuals wanting to start their own horror or story projects similar to Mandela Catalog? Yes. If you're talking about like in terms of like analog horror and stuff and like internet horror, the main thing that I will say is like use your inspirations, like take what you know that you like, but add something that's original to it. I'll just admit that there is a lot of stuff that is not that original in Mandela Catalog, and there's a lot of stuff that I really wish that I didn't put in there, solely based on the fact that it's just not that original. And that's most of the criticism that I get, which is fine. Like I understand that's like, but because I kind of started this off, I didn't really think that anybody would care, and they did. Rideant, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, says, an intruder alert, what happened to the woman's presumed husband? We see him outside the door in the PSA portion, but he doesn't enter the baby's room. The complaint was filed by a neighbor, and we never see him at the house. That will have importance. Um, that will probably be answered soon. So keep that in mind. Yeah. Holly says, you've mentioned before that you're in college. Are you specifically majoring in anything related to videography, or is this solely a hobby of yours? How did you get into video creation / editing? So, since this was asked about a month ago when I made this post, um, I was in college still. I'm not anymore. I medically withdrew. Um, I'll touch on that some other video. So I was majoring in music performance because I'm a drummer. I play that, and a percussionist, and I was going to be majoring that. I loved it a lot. I just couldn't handle the work side of it. But in terms of like videography and stuff, I mean, now I would consider it a hobby. I've never known anything about how any of this stuff worked. Like, I'm not kidding when I say this is literally my first time doing anything like this. And that's why there's a lot of things wrong with Mandela Catalog too. Now, this is definitely like the biggest part of my life next to music. So, Tibbs asks, what scares or unsettles you the most? Nothing like I'm really I've grown really accustomed to the horror genre over the years. I'm so desensitized by like anything, so I'm not really like scared of anything like that would be on Earth necessarily. But I mean, what unsettles me the most is just thinking about like space and the universe and how we don't even know like what lies beyond what is known in the observable universe. Like that's just really scary to me. Like, and I've been trying to accept it for years at this point. I remember my first existential crisis when it started when I was a freshman in high school, and I mean I'm a freshman in college now, um, and I'm still not over it. I mean that's something that has really bothered me for a while, especially in the past year. But especially when it comes to like religion and how people are able to um, find meaning and peace with life through religion is something that I have a lot of trouble with, which is actually part of the reason why I made Overthrown. It's kind of a like a creative outlet for my feelings about religion, and I have nothing against it. I mean, I for the most part I live in a pretty Christian household, I would say, and I even have a cross on my door. I would say that that's just reality in itself. We don't understand it. That's what unsettles me the most. Mendelahe says, Alex, when I watched Overthrown, I was floored. You got my attention straight out of your choice of using a framing story that all of us knows, the arrival of Jesus. I want to see how far this aspect will go. Was it an alternate who was crucified and resurrected 3 days later? And if so, what does it mean? I have all these questions. Well, I appreciate the questions. I don't really want to give away what that stuff means, but like you have the right idea, I would say. Alternates are, of course, involved in that kind of story of Jesus being born and stuff. I mean, my version of it. Are on the right path. I mean, it's kind of like I didn't really consider incorporating like the resurrection 3 days later thing, just because I don't really know that much about religion. But I mean, I hope that kind of helps. I appreciate the question though. Sippix asks, "What editing software do you use?" I don't use the software. I use my phone. I use this. This is every Mandela Catalog video has been made on this phone, with the exception of I used Audacity on my laptop for one part in Volume One. But I mean, let's see, I use iMovie, I use CapCut, Canva, Pixelmatic, Rare Vision VHS, and a bunch of other little like one-off apps that does like maybe a specific little effect in particular. Sam says, would you be willing to upload a tutorial video on how to make your videos? Sorry, how you make your videos. I don't really have like a system that I use for how I make my videos. But I mean, I just finished season 1. I'm kind of done with making all the videos on this just because I can do so much more with the PC that I'm putting together right now. It is almost done. Season 2 will probably for sure be produced on some kind of set software. Maybe down the line on this channel I'll do something like that, but I mean, I can't really do much right now. But thanks for the question though. Ethan Miller says, the hooded face man and the close-up eyes from Mark's video are originally police sketches. Was this intentional? Was it random? Is there a deeper meaning to it? So yeah, I mean, common theme in Mandela Catalog is like childhood fear and stuff. So I wanted to incorporate like some things, like some creepy images that really scared the crap out of me as a kid. And not necessarily that the close-up eyes one, but the intruder face, the hooded face man. That's something that messed me up for like weeks. I remember when I was like 14. It creeped me out so much, and I thought that like that'd be kind of cool to like bring it up again, scare some other people the same way that I have been. Or I like to incorporate like 50% analog horror stuff, 50% like reality stuff. That's why I like to show like real faces, like me and Caesar, and real talking, real camera footage. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to add a little hint of reality into it as well. It kind of makes things a little more interesting. Marcus Burton says, when watching any series like this, my mind immediately wanders to the question of how it was made. What editing software do you use to make the series, and what effect was the hardest to get to work or forced you to be creative with the tools you had? That's a good question, by the way. Oh my gosh. What the hardest to get to work? I would say the end, or not the ending, but the part in the exhibition where the intruder shows up on the TV. My friend Franklin from when I was at college, shout out to him, by the way, if he's watching this. He was familiar with Mandela Catalog and stuff, and he found that TV by the dumpster by his dorm building, and they sent me a picture of it. I was like, ooh, that looks cool. I would totally use that if I was able to have it somehow. And then he helped me bring it back to my dorm, and I brought it here. So that was cool. That was exciting. But then the hard part was actually getting to like project a video on it. I had to go to Best Buy, and I had to get I don't know what it's called, but it's like an HDMI converter that allows me to plug like a screen from my laptop to show on the TV. So I had to make the video of the intruder first and then project it on there. So that would be like, and then there was like a bunch of little stuff in between that like messed things up, and it was really annoying. Um, but I mean, that I would say that was the hardest, but it was also the one that paid off the most. I think that's probably my favorite part in the entire series so far. Lizzie says, "What's your favorite piece of horror media? Also, do you plan on making any other projects in the future?" Favorite piece, horror media, at the moment is the Walton Files. But other than that, like of all time, honestly, probably Marvel Hornets. It's a classic. I mean, it's a timeless series. And do I plan on making any other projects? Yes. And I do plan on making other horror projects in the future whenever Mandela Catalog wraps up. I even already have some ideas too. I have something coming up that I can't really talk about yet, but it'll be really cool. So stay tuned for like a long time. Cintiac says, "What gave you the idea to make Mandela Catalog, or rather, what was the leading inspiration?" Just kind of the stuff that I've mentioned before, the typical analog horror series, like the popular ones. Whether it be from other ARGs or from experience outside the realm of analog horror. Um, I haven't really thought about having this turn into like a ARG necessarily. I think the ARGs are really cool and interesting. I'm just too stupid to like figure out like how to make one interesting and stuff. Um, but I do plan on incorporating ARG elements in the future. Um, I have a cool idea that will be um, kind of put into place when Volume 2 comes out. VX says, "How long do you plan on keeping this series going? How many volumes can we look forward to?" At least two more volumes, like big volumes, but also expect some like shorter videos in between, kind of like how I did Intruder Alert and Exhibition. Oh, and also on this channel, I will probably be posting some analog horror videos that are not canon to Mandela Catalog, but like maybe some one-off ones that I might find pretty like interesting to try out. Like maybe I'm thinking about making one for Call of Duty Zombies. I think that'll be kind of cool, like the lore about that. So expect that sooner or later. Figgy Swift says, "Do you plan to pursue a career in horror productions, or are you attending college for a different profession?" Well, as I said, I'm not really attending college anymore at the moment. I mean, I might go back depending on the circumstances. But if I plan to pursue a career in horror productions, yes. And I wouldn't be able to say that like a month ago. Big Yam 17 says, "Feel free to skip over this one if it's too plot heavy. Is there any significance to voices that use text to speech voices and those are voiced by humans? Because I have theories. Dot dot dot." Yes, there is. At least for me, they kind of give kind of a creepy vibe to it. Some like the classic ones. So I mean, I kind of wanted to incorporate that a little bit too. So that's really all the questions I got. I appreciate the time that you all have taken. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. Thank you to all the people who asked questions. And I guess I figure I'll take this time to say that I have merch coming out soon. I kind of plan on uh, launching that sooner or later, but I have a lot of ideas of stuff that I want to put on shirts and posters and stuff. Other than that, I can't thank you guys enough for the monumental amount of support that this has all gotten. My life was so different for like 3 months ago, and if you would have told me 5 months ago that I would make a YouTube series and it would get to almost 170,000 subscribers in under half a year, I wouldn't believe you. I would be shocked. I'll probably cry. um, but this is all so shocking. It feels good to have people care about what I do. Like that means so much to me. Like it makes me feel like I kind of have a purpose now in life. I mean that's nice, obviously. I mean just the fact that I see some of my favorite YouTubers ever acknowledging me and making reaction videos and analysis videos and stuff is completely mind blowing. Like it's like something. It's really a feeling that I've never felt in my life, and it's just so it's insane. Like I can say that because of the success of the channel, I can genuinely say that I'm a happy person now. At the moment, I'm content with life, which is something I needed. So okay, I'm done with the sappy stuff. Thank you, and thank you for watching. Um, Stay tuned for more news about Mandela Catalog stuff. If you guys want Scrimblow Catalog 2, I'll make one. It was really fun. It took me a grand total of 2 hours to make the first one. But it was so funny. It was so fun to make. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. That's really all. Thank you.